Okay, I'm back. I am not sure what happened. My app just totally died on me. So I'm just gonna wait. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to just poof went away. So I'm gonna try to wait until Jerome gets back in to the chat so that I can answer. I'm gonna wait just a little second on that. Well, I guess while I'm waiting to see if he pops back in, I was going to touch on this whole thing about schools. Um, so there in California, there used to be like this score called API scores, and I believe the highest score would be like 900. And so I would check those scores even before I was an agent. I've been checking these since I was like younger. I guess like I'm kind of gnarly about where I feel like my kids will go to school. So even though I don't have any kids yet, at some point I just want to make sure that they're gonna be in good hands in the case that they do go to school, because I think I'm leaning more towards um, homeschool. But okay, well, I'm going to answer that question in a hot second, and then Jerome just popped back in. Jerome, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to finish my, I guess, my thought about schools. Um, the thing about schools is when you're in a district that has really good schools, home values tend to sustain themselves. Think Culver City, think um, Encino, think Pacific Palisades, Hermosa Beach, where else? Glendale. They may not be the most expensive areas, but the home values tend to sustain themselves. So when you're looking to buy a home for your family, it's not only a good idea to buy a home in a good area that has good schools for your kids, but it also is good because it kind of gives you a good indicator of um, a good home value system. So that's like a little trick. Let's see. Oh, Jerome asked, should he move to another state? So it's all about lifestyle. I When I moved back to LA, I didn't move back to Brentwood. I live closer to downtown, and part of that was I knew I was going to be working a lot. I knew that I didn't have that much capital to just, be spending thousands of dollars on rent all the time. And so when I decided to move back to Los Angeles, I didn't move back to Brentwood because one, everything closes at a certain time very early. And I know that with my personal goals, I wanted to be somewhere that's open really late. So that's why I chose K Town, because I knew that if it's 2 a.m. and I'm working on something and I'm hungry, I don't feel like cooking, I can still get something to eat. Everything is still open and it's dirt cheap over here. So I say that to say when you're buying a home, if it's not about an investment, then it's about your lifestyle and it's about your whole lifestyle. So if you're going to move to Las Vegas, do you like the heat? Do you like the lifestyle there? It's very suburban, trucky in Las Vegas. Like everything is not like the strip. It's kind of like one of those, I don't know. It's an interesting place. I feel like if you want to live there, I feel like it's an amazing place to visit. It's an amazing place to have rental income. But as far as actually owning and living in Las Vegas, I don't know. It's not my personal. I don't know. I don't want to say it's like not a fun place to be, but I just don't perceive it being a place that I would personally live. Now, if you visit Vegas and you feel like it has everything that you need, it has the grocery stores that you like, it has good schools for your kids or whatever. It has the entertainment that you need. I mean, it's going to definitely have entertainment, so. But it's about your lifestyle. You have to really envision your lifestyle. You don't want to make such a large investment and it doesn't fit your lifestyle. It's almost like getting married. Like, you don't want to marry, like, say you're like, you like adventures and you like to cook or something, and you marry somebody who doesn't like going anywhere, doesn't have a passport, and likes eating chicken McNuggets. That's not going to work. So that's the same with your house. You want to have a house that actually matches your lifestyle and has the amenities that you need. So case in point, I had a client, they were looking for, they were approved for, I believe, like $1 million. So they were looking for a home in Oakland. And I know Oakland very well. And I thought to myself, these $1 million homes in Oakland, they're very beautiful. I love them, they're amazing. But at the same time, the location of a lot of these homes, unless you're like in Piedmont or unless you're in um, by the lake or in the Montclair area, which those homes are going for more than $1 million these days, then where's your grocery store? Where's your gym? Where's, the food? Where's entertainment? There's not much of it in those other parts of the city. And I felt like my clients deserved better. So I found them. Oh, and also safety. I found them a home in El Sobrante. Very quiet, beautiful home. Um, New construction, still not too far from where they worked, and also there's like all these cute little grocery stores that are like literally within a mile away from their home, including there were like different cultural grocery stores there too, so they like fit right in there, and I felt really good because knowing their schedules, knowing that they had long days at work, I didn't want to put them somewhere where by the time they get off work and they're going home that they would have a conundrum trying to figure out where are we eating tonight, or those little things. It's about those little things in your life that you want to match up with the home that you're buying. And so I see here it says, do you recommend not buying old homes or condos? How old should you go? Okay, I love this question. Okay, so first off, let's talk about condos. Condos are amazing because I feel like if you don't want to have that much responsibility over those big ticket items of repair, like a roof or windows or like siding, condo. They take care of that. They take care of landscaping, all the outdoor amenities that are anything that's not inside your home, the HOA takes care of. So I feel like if you have to go older, I feel like a condo is actually good because all you have to do is just make sure that the HOA has enough reserves, and you look through those documents to make sure that everything is being managed properly. But if the condominium complex is being managed really well, then I would rather buy an older condo rather than an older home. Why? Because older home, if something happens, then if it's your roof, then that's all you. What is it, $15,000 to $40,000 for a roof? So you've got those type of factors to deal with. Whereas with condos, I feel like it kind of gives you a little less responsibility, but you still get ownership. And then you usually get way more amenities with condos. But I don't want to say that owning an older home is bad because, I mean, a lot of times these older architectures, if you're going to go, let me say it like this, if you're going to get an older home, make sure it has like one of those historical architecture staples to it so that it holds its value, like the mid-century moderns, the Spanish styles, that type of thing. Make sure that they have some type of historical value so that you can keep the value of the home going up. Um, I would say if you're not super savvy, about homes and you don't feel like tinkering around, I would say buy a home that's like no more than like 15 years old. Like we're in 2020. Um, so, okay, there's a weird phase. So, I would not buy any of the homes that fell in between the bubbles. So 2008 to about 2009 or 10, I would be a little weird about buying a home that was built during those times because it was during the economic downturn. And so who knows what type of corners they were cutting when those homes were being built. So 2007 and below, cool. But like in that little phase, I would definitely get my inspector out, have them do a really good inspection. If you're getting involved in any home, it doesn't matter if it's old or new, you want to make sure that you have a thorough inspection done on the home so you know what you're getting into. Um, and usually you're going to like sometimes they can't really eyeball it because they can't go into the walls when they're doing an inspection, and it's not like they go under the house, so they can't really check foundations and stuff like that. But if you have a really good inspector, they're going to be able to tell you, oh, there's an indicator that you need a specialist to check this out, or like there's an indicator that you might need someone to check out the foundation, like, or do a thorough search or mold, those types of things. But these days, a lot of these older homes are being refurbished. There's different laws as far as what can be used as far as materials are concerned. And so I wouldn't feel scared to get a home that's older. I would just say do your homework, make sure that you get a good inspector. Don't cut corners on inspections unless you have some type of contractor homeboy or homegirl that's going to hook you up on whatever repairs you might need. Keep some money in the reserves just in case you need repairs, and also get a home warranty to take care of things like the AC unit, your water heater, your dishwasher, all those appliances. American Home Shield has a really good program for that. So it's really about preparation when it comes to like older or newer. Okay, for everyone that just popped in, we covered like one, two, three, like about 7 questions now. So if you guys have any more questions, it would be amazing. I think we've got about 10, 15 more minutes. You're welcome. And you could always text or call me if you need anything and let me know how everything's going. I don't know if you've started looking, but let me know. I'm excited for you because I've been like praying that you would take that step. So if you guys are just joining in, we've answered a couple of questions, but you could ask them in the thread or ask them in the Q&A box. And we've got like 15 minutes left for today. And I just want to thank everybody for coming. And like coming out. I already said this in the beginning, but I see some new faces. So I just want to thank you guys because, I really want our community to have conversations like this out in the open about, buying large ticket items. Like we talk about cars, we talk about makeup. We're like, oh, where'd you get, your shoes, or where'd you get your car? Oh, that's nice. But why don't we talk about, oh, real estate, or oh, did you invest in that stock? Because that's what is going to bring us to another level financially in this, you know, we have to get better generation by generation by generation. And it's really about having the conversations. And I think one thing that my parents did do right is we did have a lot of conversations about money and business. Even though I would cry a lot because my parents actually tricked me, I I didn't really realize they were making money in real estate. I thought that everything we had was from their regular jobs. My parents worked for the post office, and I just thought that I thought we were poor. Even though that we talked about money, like they really did a really good job of making it seem like they didn't have any. So, but my mom would like show me her paycheck from her from the post office. They wouldn't they didn't show us the freaking real estate portfolio. So I'm like, I would sit there and cry. She'd be like, okay, so this is, my salary, and this is all of, what comes out. FICA. What is that little thing? Something that starts with a FICA or whatever. I don't know. She'd be like, that, and there goes the Social Security. And now you end up with this. And I would just like, I would be bawling. I'd be crying like serious tears because I would just think that we were poor and we didn't have nothing. And I didn't know how we had everything that we had, but in my head, I just thought that it was the saddest thing ever that she went from all this at the top and then her net income was like half of that. And so but it really did teach me a lot not to be afraid of starting from the bottom. I wasn't afraid of starting from scratch. I wasn't afraid of working hard. Um, I wasn't afraid of a lot of things because the conversation happened. So, um, so yeah, that's why I do what I do. That's why I start Money Mondays. That's why I started doing Ask Me Anything Real Estate. That's why I started Cabana Days for the women, because I really want us to normalize these conversations about these necessities. We need real estate. We need to own land. We need to cultivate land. We need to buy commercial real estate. Like, don't just buy the house, buy the strip mall. You know, there's so many things that we can be doing and talking about and coming together. My parents, when they started in real estate, they actually started with their friends. It was literally my dad's friends, who's my goddad, met in college on the cricket field. Which day is this? It's Wednesday. This is Ask Me Anything Real Estate Wednesday. Um, but yeah, my dad, he met his friend Dan on a cricket field, and they eventually went into business together. And it was my dad, Uncle Dan, and like two other people, and obviously my mom and Dan's wife. But um, they bought like two little houses, like little houses, and they developed those houses and sold them, and then they doubled it and kept on doubling it and tripling it. And I would say the the house that I lived in, by the time I was 3 years old, we were in a brand new home. um by the time I was 5, my parents owned multiple complexes, like not just like smaller units. They had one complex, I think it was called, I want to say it was called like Camellia Apartment Complex. This is a huge complex. Um, my Uncle Dan ended up going into commercial real estate, and then my dad stayed in residential and just kept on flipping. But together we could do this. Together we can have these conversations. Together we could learn. Together we can grow, and 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 really become a sustainable community. So, okay, so I've got like, I think I have like, oh, you know what? I forgot that this cut off in the middle. So I think I have like at least another 10-15 minutes. Um, if you guys have any more questions, it doesn't matter what they are. There's like this little cue box, and you guys can ask away. I would love to answer any of those questions. I'll give you guys a second because I know it takes a little bit of time to type. And if you guys don't have any questions in a couple of moments, then we are going to close. Let me make sure I answered all the ones from here. I thought we had 3, but sometimes I miss some. Okay, I answered that one. Cool. It's missing. Well, just type your question in the comments. There goes one. Oh, okay. This is a really good one. So, most people don't know that I actually went back up north for about a year. I went back up there because I had a job opportunity to do asset management in the commercial real estate portfolio world. So I was doing asset management and property management for a commercial real estate firm. And so I learned a lot, segueing into that side of the business. And any particular type of commercial real estate you recommend. So, in my point of view, it's all about necessities. If you can own commercial real estate that provides some type of necessity, then you're pretty much going to be doing fine. So, we all know the 3 things that everyone needs is food, clothing, and shelter to survive. So, if you own but it can get a little tricky because, for example, if you own a strip mall that has a whole bunch of restaurants in it, well, that may not necessarily be sustainable because when people have no money, they're going to eat at home. They're going to eat their top ramen, they're going to eat their rice and beans or whatever is going to keep them afloat until the money gets back, in their pockets. So it would probably be better to have, if you're going to go the food route, to own somewhere that has a grocery store or a liquor store. Because, everybody, liquor never goes out of business. So, liquor store, gas station, until Tesla takes over. Clothing, not so much because everyone's buying clothes online these days. So, it's really about, I would say, the fast foods. People are always going to eat fast foods. People are always going to go to the liquor store. People are always going to need their groceries. So those type of commercial spaces. Oh, and Starbucks, because there's so much of a demand that if you are going to own somewhere that has like a coffee shop setting, then you'll do fine. I feel like in LA, beauty is very much so a demand no matter what. Like people will go to the nail salon even though COVID is happening. They do not care. So I would probably say that's a necessity here. And so if you own a nice property that could facilitate some type of beauty or salon, that works as well. Oops. Okay. All right. So you're welcome. I like commercial real estate. It's actually really fun because it's just numbers. So, numbers are amazing. Numbers are my best friend. Um, and when you're looking at commercial real estate, they're going to give you like cap rates. Oh, matter of fact, since we're even talking about this, so anytime you're investing in a property, anyways, you're going to look at the cap rate. And typically between like 4% to like 11% is considered a really good space to be in for your cap rate. The higher you go with your cap rate, the better, but it also means it's more riskier. Just like when you're investing in stocks, the higher the yield, um, the more risky it is. So when you're going into purchasing a commercial property, they're going to give you a lot of those investor numbers, anyways. It's not like how when you're investing in real estate, we do like a market analysis and then we kind of like gauge what's going. We have to pull from different places to see, if it's viable. Um, with commercial real estate, that industry is very numbers driven, so they're going to give it to you straight, and then you can do your own analysis as well. um, but in general, you kind of know those numbers on the front end. Thank you, Cherise. I'm so glad you came. And Destiny's in here too. Thank you guys. Thanks, Cyril. Thanks, Charmaine. Kim, thanks for coming. Fatima, Julie, Jerome. Thank you, everybody, for coming this evening. I know last week and the week before we did a moment of silence for Breonna Taylor. I'm not going to do one this evening, but I want you guys to, just be mindful of each other, try to love on one another, and do the best you can to just spread love whenever you can. Because there's so many things that are going on right now, so much uncertainties. Let's just do our best to be nice and kind to one another. Thank you guys so much for coming out.